Hello, my quilty friends. Welcome to my country farmhouse studio. I'm your host, Marnay, and we are on the third episode of The Crows in the Corn by Lori Holt. I have started this pattern 2 videos ago, and it should be done by now. I was hoping I could give you the final reveal since the last video I showed you the border that I had with this Lori Holt fall that I wanted to put on the border, but today is about border blunders. So I'm a couple days late of getting this video up to you, and I have lost sleep because you know the old saying of measure twice, cut once? Well, that all went out the window, and I dinged and danged this one all up. So I had to get creative and think of a different idea for a border. And I was on Pinterest and I looked around and I'm like beside myself. I didn't know what to do. So I come up with this idea. Of course, Lori Holt, she has all these awesome books. And I took the idea out of the Farm Girl Vintage 2, where she has these corn cobs. And I tell you, it's taken me some finagling and measuring and prepping to get this to where I want it. So I've been at this all day, but I think this is genius because I've had people say, well, you know, where's the corn? You know, and I'm like, I don't know, I didn't make the pattern, you know, but the border was supposed to be 7 or 7.5 inches wide. And that's what the corner stars up there was. And what I was going to do, because I had this orange fabric and because it has all this lettering, I didn't want to seam it together and have like the seams show. So I was trying to be creative, as I am. I was going to put a star in the middle, and then of course I cut the fabric, you know, to fit in between, and I cut it wrong, and I only got like a yard or I don't know, 2 yards. I don't even remember what I bought, but I'm like, I don't really want to go back to Aaron's and buy more. You know, I can just redo this. So after losing a couple nights sleep and, you know, looking at different ideas and playing with the measurements, I just couldn't come up with anything. And finally I grabbed this book, and it is in here, and it is called The Corn and Tomatoes Block. And in this book it shows, and yeah, she does have it right down here in the corner. You can see that down in the left-hand corner, she's got the corn and tomatoes. Well, it shows her putting together just the corn cob, and then you add the tomatoes. So what I did is I took the 12-inch corn cob, which it would finish, or actually it finishes at 12, but it's 12.5 when you put it together. And then I just kind of bordered in between it on the side, and I made 4 of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 for the other side going down in the same, you know, motto as this one. And then for the top, you can see up here at the top, my little corn cobs up here. This is the 6.5-inch block, and I just made the corn, so I think they finish at 3.5 by 6.5. And of course, I need them to be a 7.5 in height, and then I'm going to border in between them. I'm only going to put 4 across the top and 4 across the bottom, the same as the sides. And then I'm going to fill it in with the rest of the orange fabric. So I hope this will plant some seeds of creativity for you, you know, to give you a new and fresh idea for the crows in the corn. Like I said, this was not easy for me to dream this up, but you know, here's the thing. It's like the magic miracle that this kind of popped in my head, you know, and I'm thinking, I think I can pull this off, and I did. So, yeah, this works. And I'm surprised that Lori Holt herself didn't think this up of Crows in the Corn. She designed these books, but I don't know Lori. I just know that I am a fan of her books, and she has lots of them. And these are just like tools to me because there's so many things that you can do with these creative blocks that she has in these books that you could dream up for, you know, putting in a quilt or, you know, I don't know. Like I said, you got to use your imagination. I mean, I tell you, you don't know what's going on in this crazy brain of mine because I think all the time of, you know, how to make different things and how to create. So this really jazzes it up for this quilt, and I really, really want to get it done. So the next time you see this, it is going to be finished, which it should have been finished by now, and I would have been thinking about quilting it. So I have another big message for you all is we are going to do an open house here at the studio on November 2nd. And for anybody that's local out there, if you're watching my channel, please come and check out our new studio here. We're hoping to have a long arm services back up and running by the first of the year. Jim has been checking in on some different things. And we have a APQS Millennium machine that was given to us by a couple subscribers, Jen and Tony. Thank you very much, Jen and Tony. If you're still watching, we do have that machine. I asked Jim to set it up in here because I wanted to just kind of play with it manually, since we don't have any computer for it or anything yet where I can really do some actual long arming for people. I do want to learn how to play with it. Maybe, you know, do something on my own for my own quilts or table runners or whatever, you know. So I'm always looking for a new skill and learning something, you know, because you never can't learn too much, you know. I mean, there's just so much I don't know. I'm not an expert, and I'm certainly not an expert at border blunders or, you know, making fancy borders. I was just going to keep mine simple, but this is just how it, you know, came about. So, and for those of you that have bought my t-shirts, the Sewing Seeds of Creativity, oh my God, thank you so much. I am ecstatic because Jim and I designed those shirts, and I didn't know if anybody would buy them, you know. I mean, I just feel that, you know, I want to inspire and, like, you know, sow the seeds of creativity. So I hope this sows some seeds of creativity for anybody out there that struggles with a border, you know. Is sometimes you just have to think outside of the box or outside of the block, or, you know, look into books or whatever for inspiration. But I figured, you know, since this is a Lori Holt quilt, you know, I mean, I just took her books and ran with it. So, like I said, it might take some finagling, but, you know, when you're a quilter, you know, and you could fit this stuff in, and you just have to figure out, you know, what to fill in between. So I used a 7-inch. So these, what did I put in here? I think I put a 2-inch piece in here, and this was 1.5, and then the top and the bottom block was a 7.5. So it fit together like it was meant to be. The top, I haven't finagled that yet because I still have another corn block. I thought I made another one. I don't know. Where did I put it? It's around here somewhere. My desk area and my little cutting table look like a mad scientist area, so you don't want to see that, but I will find it. So I am going to work on getting the 4 at the top and filled in. Of course, I've got to do the other 4 on the side, and this takes time, you know, because I always say the prep work it takes the longest to get everything cut up. And then I have done a lot of seam ripping as well, because I had some ideas of putting one border in and then the white or the orange and cream, you know, I was going to kind of, you know, offset them and do the odd, you know, the one orange color inside and then one, you know, with the white on the outside, and that just didn't work. So I ended up taking a couple pieces back out. So it's trial and error, you know, to what I come up with this, you know, but that's what it's all about. I play and I just kind of figure it out, and that's just what I do. So anyway. So the big announcement is we're going to have the open house, and I know I would like to show you all a room tour, but there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be taken care of in here yet. And when I do my room tour, I really want it to look its best, because there's still some boxes and some totes over in the corner that we got to get out of here, and Jim has some other stuff that needs to be taken back out to the garage yet. But the whole part of me is I'm in here and I'm sewing. Oh, and I also got a 10-foot table. So this is another thing I want to talk to anybody that wants to come, or anybody that's out there in another state that, you know, that we can't really connect. I want to see about maybe doing some Zoom classes maybe, or something, or a Zoom sewing. I don't know. We got to figure that out yet, because Jim's got some camera equipment and he's still trying to finagle it and make better videos with different camera equipment that he's got, you know, so if I'm sewing or cutting or at the design wall, to make it better so you can all really see, you know, what's going on in here. But I am looking to do maybe day retreats in here, maybe a class, or maybe somebody to teach a class, or some quilting beginner sewing. If you want to learn how to quilt, this is the place to come to. I have the space. I have extra sewing machines. I've got like 6 sewing machines, I think, here that's been donated to me, and I've had a few people come in and actually use them already. I got a couple singers and a couple of Genomes. There's an older singer, And there is a little Kenmore here. I haven't played with that yet, but I know it works. So I got some things in here. I got resources and lots of things. So it should be a really great space. And I encourage everybody to, that can, to come here and check it out. And for those of you that are, are distanced from me, hopefully we can do some kind of a Zoom thing where I can bring you all in and, maybe learn from each other, or, we can chit chat or talk or just have a cup of coffee together. I'm just trying to think of new ways to reach out and connect with everybody out there. So anyway, I'm going to keep this short and simple for today, but thank you for coming along. And like I said, I hope to have this in the next video finished so you can see the well, I can't say it'll be quilted yet, but at least the top will be finished, and then I can look into getting the background and maybe or the backing and then getting it quilted. But speaking of quilting, if any of you have seen my the baking quilt that I did with the Pillsbury flour sack, Erin has that in her shop at She's So Creative now, and I really appreciate her hanging that up for me. I really wanted to inspire people that saw it, because those were all the Lori Holt blocks that I had put around that, and it turned out great. And at the end of this video, I will have Jim put a picture up of that so you can actually see it. It is great, and I know I'm obsessed with these Lori Holt blocks, but they are my seeds of creativity to hopefully pass on to all of you. I just love the piecing part. So there's a lot of good things to come. So stay tuned. I will chat at you soon, and I'll see you next time. Have a good night. Bye.